For this week's vlog, I want to share some psalms that have been especially meaningful to me this week. So Psalm 68 verse 19 says, "Praise be to the Lord, to God our Savior, who daily bears our burdens." I am in a season of daily being very, very important to me. So that really spoke to me this week. Psalm 68:19 says, "You, God, are awesome in your sanctuary." Continuing on with our psalm theme, Psalm 59:16 and 17 are, "But I will sing of your strength in the morning. I will sing of your love, for you are my fortress, my refuge in times of trouble." And then verse 17 says, "You are my strength. I sing praise to you. You, God, are my fortress, my God on whom I can rely." Psalm 61:1 and 2. "Hear my cry, O Lord. Listen to my prayer. From the ends of the earth I call to you. I call as my heart grows faint." Psalm 62:1 is, "Truly my soul finds rest in God. My salvation comes from him." Psalm 62:5 and 6. "Yes, my soul finds rest in God. My hope comes from him. Truly he is my rock and my salvation. He is my fortress, and I will not be shaken." And then 7 and 8 continue on. "My salvation and my honor depend on God. He is my mighty rock, my refuge. Trust in him at all times, you people. Pour out your hearts to him, for God is our refuge." And then Psalm 63:1 is, "You, God, are my God. Earnestly I seek you. I thirst for you. My whole being longs for you in a dry and parched land where there is no water." That verse was especially funny to me because we've been having so many issues with both our septic and our well. They've been rough fixes. They've been expensive fixes. Not as expensive as they could have been, but nevertheless, water has been very much on my mind lately. And then Proverbs chapter 1, verses 2 and 3. 2 mentions gaining wisdom and instruction and understanding words of insight. And then verse 3 talks about receiving instruction and then doing what is right. So to me, that spoke of, first we have to learn wisdom and then we're able to act wisely. First we learn and then we do. And then Proverbs 1:10 spoke to me, "My son, if sinful men entice you, do not give in to them." As my oldest two especially become men, I have a 16-year-old and an 18-year-old that I'm thinking about. They're spending more time in the world, more time away from me. And this is definitely a concern of mine that maybe wasn't as much when they were younger. Some other psalms that have spoke to me this week, Psalm 68:5 through 6, "A father to the fatherless, a defender of widows, is God in his holy dwelling. God sets the lonely in families. He leads out the prisoners with singing." And I thought that was such a beautiful picture of who God is and what his priorities are. And then continuing on with our psalm theme, Psalm 71, verse 12. "Do not be far from me, my God. Come quickly, Lord, to help me." Psalm 73:14. "All day long I have been afflicted, and every morning brings new punishments." Yeah. Sometimes we feel like that, don't we? Psalm 73:25 through 26. "Whom have I in heaven but you? And earth has nothing I desire besides you. My flesh and my heart may fail, but God is the strength of my heart and my portion forever." Psalm 40:1 through 3. "I waited patiently for the Lord. He turned to me and heard my cry. He lifted me up out of the slimy pit, out of the mud and mire. He set my feet on a rock and gave me a firm place to stand. He put a new song in my mouth, a hymn of praise to our God. Many will see and fear the Lord and put their trust in him." So these psalms have been especially meaningful to me this week. Psalm 40 is an old favorite of mine from at least 12 years ago, but it's ministering to me afresh in this season. And then Psalm 40 verse 17, "But as for me, I am poor and needy. May the Lord think of me. You are my help and my deliverer. You are my God. Do not delay. I love how the psalmist entreats God to listen to him, to not delay, to turn to him, to rescue him over and over, because I think sometimes we're tempted to feel like we're the only people. And that's simply not the case. Psalm 76:3 reminds us, there he broke the flashing arrows, the shields and the swords, the weapons of war. An interesting footnote in the Background Cultural Studies Bible says that this psalm alludes to a siege of Jerusalem broken by the intervention of Yahweh, but we don't know which battle it was. And I thought that was very interesting. And then Psalm 78, verses 4-6 reminds us that parents are to teach their children about God. Starting with verse 4, we will not hide them from their descendants. We will tell the next generation the provision, the praiseworthy deeds of the Lord, his power and the wonder that he has done. He decreed statutes for Jacob. He established the law in Israel, which he commanded our ancestors to teach their children, so the next generation would know them, even the children yet to be born and they would in turn tell their children. They would put their trust in God and would not forget his deeds, but would keep his commands. And I thought that was really beautiful too. And so these are some of the Psalms that I've been going over this week, and I hope that they bless you as well. Thanks for watching.